Shank Rock is the wave of the future. The diagrams that I have up, where did this go wrong at?
Remember, we didn't know this happened to her.
Okay. But that's in the trial. There's nobody on a jury that's going to watch these tapes. He done did 7 to 8 different interviews and a book where he done bragged, talked about this stuff in details.
Around 3 o'clock that morning, I got random text messages, and it was just pictures of her and the other little girl. I thought it was strange.
Go.
Say, man, what's up, man? It's your boy Charleston White, man. This is my first movie ever. $1 million what?
$1 million thing, $1 million thing.
$1 million thing, man. So I'm with my man, the producer Shank, man. So he finna show me what to do, how to put it down, man, so we can pick some up. So y'all stay tuned in and locked in, baby. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of these beefs you've been into.
Yeah, that's what I love. That's what I love. Let's get to it. Yeah.
Now, look, I'm going to save her for last, or should I start off with Gorilla first?
Her, you said her. That's a her.
Up there.
I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. And this is the TSD Show with Shank and my co-host Chuck. And y'all know we got to represent that hometown, Baltimore Ravens. So I need all my Ravens fans to drop a Ravens in the chat as well as on the replay game. Now, me and my co-host Chuck, we will be chopping it up about the latest dangling deaths of these black males and females. And this is the latest black man found dangling in North Carolina has been identified. So let me give y'all his identity. I'm sorry. So the Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, police are investigating the dangling death of 38-year-old Demetrius Fleming, found on Roanoke Avenue Friday. Chief Lawrence Wiggins says the case is open and everything is on the table. Now I'm going to come on and slide up my co-host, Chuck. And me and Chuck is going to build on these latest dangling deaths. Now, of course, they're ruling his death suicide.
Yeah.
Now, let's start at the beginning, Chuck, when it comes to black people committing the S word by way of the H word. Any statistics first? Do you have any statistics?
Well, you know what? As I was trying to prepare for this, right? Because everything was happening all of a sudden, man. I was looking back at, because I know we discussed last week. We discussed the cases in Mississippi, right? So as I was thinking about Mississippi, I said, well, let me dig back and see, like, is it a pattern? What are the pattern? What's going on? Give me some information on what's happening. And so far, like I came up with a few, like 10 cases in Mississippi for individuals that was 10 cases since 2000 and since 2006, if I'm not mistaken. Since 2000, where individuals was found dangling. And the majority of the cases have been suicide, stated suicide. Oh, I'm supposed to use the S word?
You can, but just say the S word. But you good? Go ahead. You good?
Yeah. No, well, you're a professional. I'm a novice, but we had the TSD show and we kind of get it right. You know what I'm saying? So
Long as you don't use it, 100 times, but you good.
yeah. So now that everything was depicted as a S, we know that we don't jump up there and put ourselves in the tree and just say, okay, well, today is the day. In a midst of the night, dark of the night, in the woods, and nowhere to be found. I mean, a lot of things are occurring that need to be brought to the forefront of public and social attention. See, a lot of people many folks are not aware of the consistency of these events happening, the frequency of them happening, and the majority of them are not even aware of the circumstances surrounding the individuals that it takes place to. And a lot of these families are going left with no answers. Some people in certain neighborhoods are now put in imminent fear or imminent danger. They feel as though their life is being threatened to a certain degree. And these are the elements that, we need to really, really address and speak on, bring to the forefront. So, man, it's tough.
Let me slide in, Chuck. Let's both play devil's advocate.
Okay.
And the reason why I want to play devil's advocate is because things change, people change. Now, I remember many years ago, certain crimes were committed by a certain group of people.
Right.
Now, we know, I don't know if you was home or not, but I'm sure you knew the story with the DC snipers. Remember,
Exactly.
everybody just automatically assumed that it was a European, a Caucasian male doing these shootings. But
Correct.
it came out that it happened to actually be a black man.
Right.
So let's just travel down the devil's advocate lane for a second. Could they have committed the S word, suicide?
Well, you know what I say. It's not even a problem of could they have done it, right? The bigger problem is, and this is what we face every day, is the distrust in the authorities or the system to divulge the appropriate evidence to support one way or another. Because nowadays we don't, as a people who employ a force, why is it that, and I'm not talking about us, I'm talking about anybody. Why is it that nowadays we can no longer trust what we're getting from them? You got conspiracies, cover-ups. You got people not doing their job. You got individuals are in a self-preservation mode when they're supposed to be looking after the safety of the public, and they're in an organizational self-preservation mode when they're supposed to be looking after the public, but they keep it looking at it for themselves. So it's not a matter of, the first matter is not whether they did it to themselves. The matter is, let's get to some evidence that supports a theory,
Right.
and we can't trust the evidence.
Now, for me, when it comes to the young lady, 29-year-old, and I hope I still have a picture in my gallery, 29-year-old Tasia Fortune, and I took it out of my gallery. I knew it. Now that was the young black female down there in Mississippi. Now
Okay.
they have a person in interest, and it happens to be a black male.
Yo.
Now they
Okay.
haven't charged him, but they're saying that according to him and her had an argument days
Right.
before. He does have a child by her, and then some of the residents are saying, "Hey, look, we talking about Jackson, Mississippi, and we're talking about the heart of the hood in Jackson, Mississippi." And they're saying that it's no way that Caucasian male would have been able to do something like that in this hood neighborhood. And let me just rewind it. Remember Wayne Williams,
Uh-huh.
the Atlanta child red rums.
Right.
Same situation. So could we be wrong?
You know what, man? On certain circumstances, some things you could be wrong. And you really can't know. You can't determine if you're right or wrong until the proof comes out in the pudding, right? We jump to historic conclusions. And that historic conclusion is based on what? Societal trauma. You got an organization of people, you got people that have been traumatized over the years. So when something occurs, their first instinct is what? It goes to history base. Now, some predators that are enacting these um, crimes can filter themselves inside what they know society to be as a historical uh, context. And they can fall between the cracks and say, well, you know what? I can lay in the cracks because I can play this lane. I can play this lane because nobody really be thinking of them because their thought process is somewhere else, you know? And that's why I say, man, it goes back to who do we trust to receive the appropriate information to make a conclusion. Now, some people will say, well, what does your conclusion matter, whether you make a conclusion or not? Well, we have children. We got daughters, nieces, nephews, sons, aunts. We got family members. So now the more information we know, we have to learn how to protect ourselves and our families to be vigilant of things like this so that we don't wind up on the other end of trying to get the information. That's a very important part as we dive into this. But Shank, we got straight to it, man. We got it. I know we straight to it, but the people are asking, man, why are we here?
Oh, you wanted to? Okay, let me come to my chat for a second or two. Let me start right here. And I don't mean to skip over no comments, y'all. In my opinion, more of a profit and do us for propaganda. Yet every time there is a dangling, oh must be the L word, just pure racism from black folks who don't even look up stats. It's made so we can get tired and give up. Distractions. Look what we did. Ego, a life sad. Belinda says, you cooking, Chuck. Okay, so
Hey, what? Hey, man, you know what? This is why, and I don't want to get into debatable. Let's get into some statistical facts. This is why I brought my notes. Because when you bring your notes, some things can't be disputed. When people want to look at it, you look at it. So we're not. And
right.
then listen, don't understand this. I'm not propagating racism. All I'm saying is that you have to protect what's yours.
Stay right
In
there for a
addition,
second, Chuck. And I don't mean to
but
cut you off. Stay right there
no, go ahead.
because we do have folks from other nationalities and other races. And
Yes, for sure.
they automatically assume when black folks discuss racial issues, they automatically assume we racist.
No,
Give us your definition, or if you want to narrow it down to give us the definition of racism as well as being a racist, if you may.
or you wouldn't even put it like this. You would divide it. It would be racist and bigotry. Okay? A race or a race is one who propagates and supports the uplifting and empowerment of his ethnic group, his race. That means that you can be a Caucasian racist, Hispanic, Latino. Every ethnic group has an element of racism because they want their own individuals to prosper and be good in society, to uplift that race. Now, bigotry is when you're in a certain race and you claim that yours is more um, powerful or necessary than the next. So now you want to conquer other races, put them down, alleviate. You know, you want to create a distance, social grouping, economical grouping. You think that you are more than the next. Now that means that you are committing acts against another race in the name of bigotry. That means that you're committing crimes against another race to hold them down in the act of bigotry. So people need to really understand when you use the word racism, the context of it, because you can be a Caucasian racist, but you can also be a Caucasian bigot. But there are many Caucasian racists that are more inclined to say, you know what, I don't agree with the bigotry that goes on throughout my ethnic group as in opposition to other ethnic groups. So for those who assume that, then you have to educate yourself on it. And please understand that the power of words and how you refrain and use your terminologies is very, very, very crucial. Because an individual could take one statement, one word, one syllable, and turn it to mean something different when it's not your purpose. So, and like I say, that brings us to here, Shank. That brings us to not just this media moment, but that brings us to a moment where you and I are sitting at this table right now, right? Discussing this type of news because this is news. We're discussing the news and we're giving an unbiased opinion, which people can give or take, or they can flow or not flow with it. But this unbiased opinion is one that leaves room for people to understand what's going on around them, whether you black, white, brown, yellow, it don't matter. You have to understand your surroundings, you know? So that's me. I don't want to ramble, but that's
No,
so
go,
far.
cause I'm gonna build off of, and I'm just letting you, cause like I said, I be trying to explain when we discussing issues pertaining black people and white people. That's not being racist. I mean, but I wanted you to be able to present it because then maybe they'll understand where we're coming from. Now, in these situations, I will say this, and this is why I wanted to play devil's advocate. Even though there's a history, and I do need everybody to understand that we have a history of Caucasians dangling us from trees, the L word, and getting away with it. That's just a known fact. Thousands of cases have been determined as a suicide. So now we're in a 2026. We're far away from those days. But here you go, Chuck.
Who
Are
says that?
we?
Who
Are
says
we?
that? Who says we're far
Are
away?
we? Are
Yes.
we?
And that's a big question. Have we arrived to a point where as though we're beyond certain things? No. Why? Because past history has been indoctrinated in the youth growing up. These youth that have been indoctrinated with their family core values of bigotry or racial supremacy people who have indoctrinated their children have now developed a whole new level of individuals coming up to facilitate what they did years ago. They're dead and gone now, right? But now you have a whole new generation of supremacists and bigots that are still trying to fulfill that indoctrination from 60 years ago that their grandparents, great grandparents, parents have passed along to them, despite what current, past, and present education allows for individuals to see. That is a travesty in society. One that, we possibly won't see resolved in our lifetime or maybe the next. That our children will have to now navigate with as we're preparing them not to have to deal with it, but we have to prepare them to be vigilant now. So have we actually arrived or gone beyond that point in the early 1900s? No, because we still have events taking place, right? Now, just take, but you know what, we're going to just take like on July the 4th, right? You had a supremacist group march upon DC, right? Arrive fully masked, outfits, everything, right? Do you have any complaints? You have any police assistance? You have any arrests? Anything like that? Nothing, right? Now, at the same token, you got people who have been arguing for immigration rights that have been getting killed. Oh, I used the word there.
No,
Immigration
you
rights
good. You good. You good. You good.
that have been unalive. That's better.
You
I don't
good.
know,
Go
man. But
ahead. Go ahead.
but they're no longer here due to their participation in volatile situations where individuals overstep their bounds and create force that actually takes them from the earth.
This is true.
That is absolutely true. Now, why are their actions so dramatic as such? Because they've been indoctrinated with a theory of supremacy, right? Now that supremacy theory is not even just racial now. It is by group. You may have a certain law enforcement that feel that they are supreme. They are above the next. So now just take this for instance. You take a military member in the Marine Corps, right? To go protect your entire country, then been to war. Heroes. Then fought for these individuals to even be able to be on the protect and serve, yet you assault your military?
It's true.
We
This
have a
is true.
problem. So do we have is it all racial? No. But is it based in supremacy? Yes. Is it based in that fine line of organizational context? Yes. So now we have a divide that's rolling over to every sector of life. So, man, I just say, man, these are important conversations that need to be had. But I'm gonna roll back to you for a minute because I wanted to address something. Because one of y'all commenters said, "Hey, we don't do no research. Why don't we? Why don't we?
Salute. Salute.
Why don't
And
we?"
let me just say this. You notice they ran back up to the bushes.
Hey
They
man,
done
look,
ran back up to the bushes when you
hey,
hit them with the research. Stay right there, Chuck, because I gotta say something real quick for those that have just pulled up. So,
okay.
the latest black man found dangling in North Carolina has been identified, and this is the young man, and this is Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Police are investigating the dangling death of 38-year-old Demetrius Fleming, found on Roanoke Avenue Friday. Chief Lawrence Wiggins says the case is open on the table. They're, however, ruling it as a suicide. How many of us see, if you look at Chuck's picture, if you look at my picture, and if you look at Demetrius' picture, all three of us could be, and all three of us are brothers, but we definitely could be biological brothers. So, my next question is going to be, Chuck,
Yes, sir.
what should the YT community, what should the YT community, the YT are Caucasians,
I
Europeans,
get it.
what should the YT people be doing to help? And if it was all of these danglings by way of suicide amongst European men and women, if the
Mm.
numbers, if the stats was up here with Caucasians and Europeans, we would have, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chuck, we would have treatment programs. We would have all kind of researchers. We would have all kind of major platforms would be doing specials on it. What can the YT people do to help us? Or is it strictly on us to help us in these situations?
You know what, man? That's a good question because in one sense, I would tell you there ain't nothing they can do, right? And the only reason why I say that is because most people, if it don't affect you, you're not gonna put too much into it. But for those that are affected, it's something that we should be doing to support one another, right? Now, for them, again, it's a matter of division. So as we look at the divide, there are people that are willing to cross the line to step into the fire amidst pushback from their own. So this is where the law enforcement, the elected officials, the community leaders, the faith-based leaders, those individuals that have been put or given a responsibility to step in that place, that is where when you look for, say, assistance, but what kind of assistance are we actually looking for? All we're looking for is transparency. Because I want transparency. If they, God forbid, they found one of mine somewhere, I'm not going to ask you for your assistance in the matter of, okay, get the word out, let's talk about it. I can do that for myself. But you may have access and capabilities far beyond my current reach of transparency to allow that research to take place so we can get to the bottom of it. Now, if it's foul play in there, then be transparent and then let somebody come in and let's handle that business.
Right. Right.
Because I bet you if Lil Jody was off the rafters, it'd be on national news all month until everything was taken care of. Prime example, what's the young lady named Janae Ramsey? Is that her name?
The little baby, the little girl. Yes.
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 Do
Yes.
you know how long her case has been open? Her case was open over 25 years. And it still made news, right? So what we saying is, let's get some transparency. Don't close the case because you're not interested or you don't want to spark up a theory. You don't want to spark up controversy. You don't want to raise the beast. It's best to keep them asleep, watching TV, playing Nintendo, playing sports, entertaining you. But when you raise the beast to become vigilant and mindful, now you have to be accountable.
Stay right there, Chuck.
Yo,
Breaking news. Breaking news. Sean Grayson, YT cop that unalived Sonia Massey over the boiling water, has been found dead in his jail cell of colon cancer. So, breaking news. Sean Grayson, the YT cop that unalived Sonia Massey over the boiling water, has been found dead in his jail cell of colon cancer. Now, I like this comment right here. Again, we are sitting around doing nothing about it. How much longer is this supposed to go on in front of our eyes? We as people been demanding transparency since before time. Where have that got us?
all right. You want to answer? You want me to answer that?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna build off of you. Come on.
Okay, yes, we've been asking for transparency throughout time. Understandably so. But how deeply entrenched are we in the system to be able to look after one another? Mind you, now we as a people, we get into a system, right? And some of us buy into the system and don't want to cross that line to defend those individuals that have been victimized by that lack of transparency. Now, when we talk about transparency, we talk about autopsy reports and things of that nature. These are things that the ordinary individual does not have access to. I can't tell you, okay, well, I want some forensic facts on that. So if we want something, then we need to go get it. How about we start dedicating our resources to having our own forensic pathologists that we can relate to, that we can say, you know what, hey, we have a school. We built a curriculum. We have our own forensic pathologists that can look into these situations for us, by us, right? That is built on an educational system. There are things that we can do as a people, yes, to create our own, but yet and still we still want to assimilate into a system that was not built for our assimilation. It was built for separation, not assimilation. But when we lost that, when we gave up that separation factor and wanted to assimilate and be part of something that was imaginary, now we succumb to asking instead of demanding, instead of going and get and having. So now we have to recreate this whole sense of urgency to have for self, have for own. And it's not a matter of bigotry. It ain't even just a matter of race. It's the haves and have-nots at this point. Because if you have, you're going to get some or most of what you're looking for. But if you have not, you're going to get most of none of what you're trying to get. And then it's incumbent upon those who have to reach back and say, well, okay, well, let me give to the have-nots or pull a have-not up and find out what's going on. But as I spoke last week on the show that we talked about, man, you got influential people in areas that this stuff is taking place who have profited from individuals, but are silent. They don't use their influence to make inquiries because now they don't want to be marked as an enemy, not of the state, but of the system. So now comes the question is, where are the heroes?
Mm.
Where are the ones that are ready to go on the front line? Even us talking right now is a front line sense because we can be censored, shut down. People will see what's going on. They say, "Oh, you're this and are you that?" No, we're not. None of that. But we're individuals trying to make a way, clearing the path to create something not just bigger for ourselves, but bigger for the individuals that are in line with what we're doing. So it's grassroots. It starts there. And like I say, transparency is an object of it because everything can't be labeled an S. Every dangling can't be an S. But now you got to get rid of what could be circumstantial before you can get to what's relevant. Like they say, hey man, oh this guy had a argument with the girl. So before you get to anything else, you got to dispel that part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me slide in and let me build with you.
Go
It's
ahead.
it's like we have people in places. We have people with the resources. But once that money get involved, and for some people, it don't even have to be about the money. I mean, I believe Judas sold Jesus for what was it, 30 pieces of silver. Now I don't know that amount back then, but the point that I'm making is we're going to have to worry about each other. Now, let's go back in time. It's like what Chuck was saying. I'm building with Chuck. And I'm not throwing shade on Martin Luther King. Even Martin Luther King knew after a while. He knew by integrating, he knew that it led us to the slaughterhouse. And with that being said, it's like we always got to keep in mind that there are those that are watching us and they are watching our every move. Now, these are lessons that we picked up in the streets, move in silence. So, in order for us to reach that next level, read between the lines. Come on in, Chuck.
Well, that's a mighty line, right? That's a mighty line. And yeah, you can't move in silence to get things produced, to get a production. And those answers that we're looking for, most of the answers are right in front of us. We just choose not to get off the couch and go dig and get them for fear of repercussions. You know, and that can be taken into account. So, but like I said when we started the show off, because I back us up, man. Gotta back us up because we deep.
Come on,
I need
back
you to
up. Let
gotta
me
back
slow
us up.
down. Let me slow down and let me be as you are and let me put on mine. So back us up.
Bro, now we can't even see each other. That's funny, yo. Look, you see two people glass, they can't see each other. They be like, ah, ah. Hey, look. Yo. Oh man, I cracked myself up with that one. That is too funny, bro. Hey, no, listen, so look, we got to back up for a first minute. First and foremost, Chuck and Shank. We doing this every third Sunday, right? Some people ask, man,
Hey,
how
hold
come?
up, Chuck. Hold up, Chuck. Hey, Black Warrior. Hey, don't be sitting up here laughing at us, Black Warrior. Hey, y'all cut that out, Rock Squad. We got a guest, which is Chuck, and Chuck has brought his people over here. Hey, look, y'all better be good down there in my chat. Come on, Chuck. I'm messing with you, Black Warrior. Come on, Chuck.
Hey, they better know how to act, huh? Hey, no, man, look. So this is a part of even bringing it to the public, man. We are childhood friends, same neighborhood, different cloth, right? But at the same token, man, we be cool, we be getting together on different stuff, and it's like, man, if we gonna build, why don't we really build? You get what I'm saying? So this is how we got here, and it actually it was in the makings, but it kind of happened overnight, man, because you blew the whole spot up, bro. I promise you.
I blow the spot up, Chuck.
Listen, y'all. So people will understand, man. I sent the idea to Shank, right? And I was like, Shank, man, yo, how this sound, bro? I'm like the TSD show with Chuck and Shank, right? And I'm gonna say this to people from Baltimore around our era. If you from Northeast Baltimore, right? And you around our era, if you don't know nothing about TSD, something ain't right. Something ain't right. We was there. We was all right. You know what I'm saying? But now, and it's actually a younger group around there, CNP, right? And I
Oh,
don't
for real?
proliferate gangs or nothing like this, but we wasn't even a gang. It was like young kids coming together, making names for a neighborhood or for a group, and that's what we did. And we hung together. And right now, we got individuals that came out of there, people with federal agencies, people who are lawyers, people with doctors, people who run multi-million dollar businesses. I mean, we weren't no dummies to come out the neighborhood. You know, we got a lot of prosperous, and we got a lot of failures too. But it's a failure. I don't know. We got a lot of mistakes along the way, right? But now, me and Shank, we here together. Man, I salute to you, my brother. I appreciate how we building this.
Yeah, I salute you back. I mean, it was like it just really fell into our lap. Everything just watching you grow, just seeing where you started from and seeing where you at now, and seeing how you took it on. Like at first, you was a little rusty.
Very rusty.
You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
was like, let me give the brother some time to loosen up a little bit and feel his way and get into it. You know what I mean? But you there.
Hey, man. And I'm a tell you, I don't even want to sidebar it, but it's some stuff that people need to know to understand how we rolling. Because when I first got with you about the show and everything, to tell you the truth, like I got some advisors on my side, right? So I was in the talks of a movie script, right? Making a movie script on my life, which is very interesting, man, Ed. But and the thing about the movie script was, and the image is that I guess individuals wanted to see or wanted to see the online portrayal of what I used to be or what I used to be capable of, right? Well, I had to change the narrative even of myself as to my public opinion, man, because like I don't want to portray what I used to be. What I used to be is the story, but what I currently am now is the testimony.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Wake us
So,
up. Talk to us.
so I could give you the story, but I won't try to glorify my past actions, even though in some elements of the street those actions are glorified. those actions are respected and interpreted in a whole nother manner that most individuals will see from a distance but will not want to live in that cycle, right? I don't even want to live in the cycle that I was in, you know? Irregardless of the capabilities, you don't want to live in that cycle. So you bringing me on, man, and introducing this thing, and I'm like, you know what? And I had to tell my advisors, like, look, I get it. My story, yeah, it's one of them power stories and stuff like that. One of them little known joints, but it's real heavy. But the thing about it is, I don't want to live in that. I'm gonna tell it eventually, but I want people to see the progression, to see the capabilities of individuals that you can do more than what you used to be, right? And as we discuss these topics, because our show, this is what our show is based on. Our show is based on, we want to talk about events, known and unknown, that need to be seen by all communities. You know, that's one aspect of the TSD show. The second aspect of it is that you're in North Carolina, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm in Illinois. We both repping Baltimore. But you got people that's watching us from all over the country. Now, for those people that are all over the country and watching, we're trying to give you also a platform to say that if you have a community group, individuals, school is starting back now. We talking about positive achievements, things that ordinarily aren't seen in public. We would like to shine light on grassroots organizations. Don't matter where you black, white, Hispanic, whatever, you know, that are doing positive things to help communities and society as a whole. We want to highlight individuals with academic achievement. You know, it's bad enough that you see all the negativity on the news, but where is all the positivity coming from to help influence the next generation to say that there are still good things out there despite all the negative that's happening? Get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
So,
get caught up. We get caught up in, I speak about it all the time, on the platform as far as us men, because these cases that I be covering, it be just me. And the ladies be asking me all the time, Shank, where are the men at? We need some men. And so every opportunity I get, regardless of what lane the man is in, every opportunity I get, I'm snatching men. Look, come on up over here. Look, come on. Look, okay, you don't want to come? Let me put you in the hip. Come on and get over here and let's do this work right here. Let's
Right.
do God's work. Because, hey, who ain't then done the work of the devil once upon a time in their life? We all played around with the devil, but this is the work that needs to be done. I was taught this a long time ago. When you young and you trying to earn your stripes and you trying to build a name for yourself and everything, and when you get around the older folks, the older men, they would always say the things that y'all hoppers. That's a Baltimore terminology. The
yeah,
thing that y'all
yeah,
hoppers, the thing that y'all hoppers out here doing, that ain't gangster. That ain't G. Now, regardless of what it is that you got under your belt, when it comes to street, you really thinking you moving like a G. You really thinking you moving like a gangster. Until
right,
you get around the men, and the men are saying, are you taking care of your family? Are you present in the household? Are you active in your community? And then it starts to register to you, but at the time you a hopper. We was hoppers. I ain't trying to hear that. But then you get it when you really, really start watching movies. When you watch The Godfather himself, the Don said it himself. A man that don't spend time with his family is not a man. So it's certain things that as men, that as black men, it's certain things that we should be doing. And we should be doing this work right here. We should be coming on other folks' platforms if we don't have a platform of our own. We should be coming on helping, raising awareness. Hey, I can't do it by myself. Chuck can't do it by himself. We need help, man. We at war. And we've been at war for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Man, who you telling?
Come on
Who
then,
you
Chuck.
telling? Man, look, bro, that's crazy because when you say we can't do it by ourselves, Lord knows I can't do it by myself. Bro,
Nah, man.
man,
Nah,
listen here, man. Look here, man. Listen.
nah.
And, and, and look, in life, it ain't no time put on when you can be successful, right? Or even what you call success throughout your life, right? And I was just saying it today, like, man, I can't do all this by myself, but I sure is trying, right? And you know, you get help and you get more support, you get some support from friends. But you know what, man? It ain't always the ones that's closest to you that help propel a legacy that you create. You know what I'm saying? And with this platform, you creating a legacy. But now the question is like, how do we raise the bar and push the platform a couple more levels up to not just only push the legacy, but push the agenda. You know, a lot of people get into these type of events for quote unquote the seemingly monetary benefits that could actually come out of it, right? Well, hey, I ain't seen nothing yet, but I'm still striking, right? And look, and the thing about, one of my guys told me,
What do you tell you?
they said, man, you know what, you got an expensive hobby. I'm like, you know what, man? It's not a hobby. Because what I'm doing right here, right now, actually gives me purpose, man. It helps my purpose in life, right? And I'm like, yo, I just found a whole another side of me to enjoy being a service to individuals that I don't even know that could benefit from whatever it is that we doing, right? So, I mean, Shank, this ain't just a podcast, brother. It's
Nah,
a movement.
nah. I'm a
It's a
I'm
movement.
a build with you. I'm a build. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
Because we all are one step away from crashing out. We all have been into some things that we just ain't proud of. It's therapeutic. Like when I first came, it was therapeutic and it opened up another lane. And I was like, wow, I was like, I like doing this. Because
Yeah.
once again, it's therapeutic. And then when you have the many people just telling you, Shank, man, you don't know how much you meant to me. Shank, I needed that. And and so it gives you that purpose. Like I said, man, when you really, really look at life and when you really, really buckle down, are you proud of who you are? And let me take my shades off. Let me take my glass
Hey,
off. And I
glasses,
need
man.
everybody. I need everybody to come on out of my bushes that always have slick-ish and always wanna troll. I need y'all, and this is for y'all. Everybody else, move to the side. I need all the trolls. Come on up front now. What's your purpose?
Mm.
What's your purpose in life? I see you, Mo. Islam Mo. Islam Mo. That's Joe English. Brother, well, Sheik. Sheik.
That's Joseph Young Bang, yo. That's my bag, yo.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, those are
But what
those.
is?
He came out here. Him and his wife came out here, man. And I,
Oh
I, I
yeah,
met him out there. Yeah.
oh yeah. Hey Joe, if
Yeah.
you want to come up, cause if you want to come up, Joe, that's if you do. If not, brother, then it's okay. But what is man's purpose? What is our purpose as men? Like I said, I can
Mm.
share my story and I can share my struggles. I struggled as a child trying to find my identity. You know, attaching to this, attaching to that, switching lanes over here, switching lanes over there, getting myself into a bunch of unnecessary BS, all because I was searching for my purpose. And I speak on the time when my daughter passed away, the dark places that it put me in. And for those, this is my daughter, Big Latifah, and she passed away in 97. So out of all the times in my life and all the lanes that I was in, her death put me in the darkest place of my life. And I did some things that, I regretted, and because I wasn't in my right mind. And I know, had I been in my right mind, then I know, what I'm saying, I wouldn't have participated in them things. And when I came out of that dark place, I made a promise to myself and I made a promise to God. And I said that if it cost me my life to save one person's life, I'm here first. Love you too, Joe. Come on in, Chuck. Come on in.
Man, hey, you know what, man? That's a serious piece. And I ain't even mean to take you there, brother.
Nah, it's good because sometimes I need to go there because sometimes I need to reflect on where I came from and where I don't want to go back to. Like I said, that was like, okay, those were the times when, I was over there. So,
Yeah.
but to see where I'm at, I appreciate the condolences. To see where I'm at today, and I give my life, Chuck.
Man. But you know what though? To be honest with you though, you already giving your life, bro. You gotta understand something. Everybody ain't gonna go out here and represent families and take on cases and bring attention to things to give people, not even to give people a sense of a justice, but to get a sense of closure, a sense of belonging, to say that, you know what, man, somebody out here care about you. You get what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, somebody wants to know that somebody cares about them, right? And let me tell you. So look, I I recently started going to a men's transitional place, right? And I go there and I introduce myself and I suppose a part of my church mission, right? So I went there as a part of the mission to go speak to some of the gentlemen, and I had to give them a brief of my story and things like that because you don't want to walk into an environment and people cannot relate to you, or you walking in and like, well, who are you here? So when I went into the place and I started speaking to the men, we had a lot of commonalities and mentality. And it's like you can get you I went there with the idea of being able to give something, but I learned from a friend of mine, Mr. Kruger, that when you go into an environment like that, it's not about what you can give, it's actually about what you receive. And when I spoke to these gentlemen, it gave almost life altering instances And then the next thing you know, they said, well, when is he coming back? So I committed to going back again and again. And I actually took one of my books and I created um, a college level curriculum for interpretation, creative writing, thinking, introspection, in a lot of instances, and it came out of deciphering my poems. Now, I would have never known or even had the first inclination that something I could produce could change someone's life in a positive. And when you talk about purpose and giving to people and receiving from people, these are the things that we as humans would choose to want to do, that we get fulfillment from the satisfaction of enhancing and or saving another person's life. Now, as we talk about the individuals that are dangling and have been dangling, these individuals are individuals. They had families that cared about them. They have children. They are mothers, fathers. You know, life is valuable. And when you take the value out of life, you become less than human. And these are lessons that I learned along the way. These are lessons that, in the midst of challenges and struggle as an individual, I have to still remind myself of and apply on a daily basis. You know, a lot of people are one step away from some things and another step away from another. And that's just by the choice you make. So, as individuals in the chat, you ask questions about community, about ethnic groups, about race relations. That's the good. But how about interpersonal relations? How can you build with someone and not see who they are, not see them as a classification? And I mean classification by this person has this much money, this person has this kind of statue, this person is at this place in life. You're a believer, non-believer. You know, where does the classification end and the humanity begins? So when I spoke earlier about the dangling and what was necessary for transparency, that would actually come from the declassification of people and the acknowledgement of the value of a human life. That's that's a lot. So now, so now I don't want to go too further because I don't want to make this a sermon, you know. But I want to talk to the people. I got a few what they call cleanup things we got to do. Not cleanup. Oh, I'm still clean. One, happy birthday to my granddaughter, Kelsey. You don't call me that much, but I already know little girls don't call their grandfathers that much, especially when you're out of state. And I'm cool with that. I love you still, love you to the moon and back. But I want to publicly announce that you have a birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wish you many more. And hopefully I'll be able to see you soon. Um, Next up is, and you know, you gotta do your own bidding. I do my own bidding. Hey, cousin nephew. Oh, I said cousin nephew. Hey, cousin auntie. And I'm glad you got people chiming in. So I also want to, like I said, announce to everybody about I'm getting ready. Like I said, I'm planning to drop this book. I just put on my page. Y'all can see the album cover. I'm gonna drop a 12 album. I'm talking 12 song album with the release of the book. In addition, so if anybody is out there, I've actually stepped into the realm of public speaking. So if you're in a college, high school, or organization, and you're looking for someone with some real knowledge of real life events that are definitely worth hearing from, then get in contact with me. I would more than be willing to attend, come and share. But understand this, it is a career I'm changing, so you know we can talk some numbers, but I do want to make it there. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Secondly, hey, you see me plugging out here, Shay? Secondly,
I see. I see you.
but I'm doing my thing, bro. But secondly, and I really I gotta put you on point. Secondly, I have a curriculum, bro. I astonished myself. I have a whole educational curriculum. You know how Tupac, how they did a college course with Tupac?
Hmm.
Well, guess what? I just developed a whole college course with Charles Ellis,
My man, proud of you.
and I'm marketing that to the colleges, universities, facilities, and I'm going back and I'm trying to get back into the correctional institutions to be able to talk to the individuals because I've seen a lot of them while I was there, and I see people coming out. But I think it's a part of my duty to go back and share with them and let them know that you know what, man, today is the day, but tomorrow, if tomorrow comes, you can do something. It ain't
That's right.
all over, right? And given the opportunity of freedom to make the best of it.
That's right.
So I wanna go back in there and do my part to help aid them brothers and sisters so they can see that it's things out there that they can do. It says come to Baltimore City and speak. Y'all can hit me on my email. Let's talk about it. They can hit me on my emails, info at the unspokenvoicespodcast.com, or they can reach me at charlesellis98 at gmail.com. You know, or reach out to me on the podcast, inbox me, whatever the case may be. I'm ready for it and I'm willing to do it. And that's a part of my mission. And Shank gonna go with me. Hey, look, hey, say, you know,
Huh?
cause I'm thinking, man, we can do like a national type of Shank and Chuck show type of thing, man. You know,
Yeah.
and let's make something happen. Cause two guys that speak two blue you in room.
Man, can you imagine the roast? Now we are in Baltimore. And when we go to Baltimore and talk, we are. Anywhere else, oh man, they gonna roast the HE hockey sticks out of us, boy.
Well, they gotta be able to understand us first, right?
Yeah, when I first moved down to Carolinas, man, people would used to come from all over. Say this, say that. Let me hear you say this. Let me hear you say that.
Man.
Woo.
So yeah, so that's where we and you know because I'm in and out on topic, but I'm not taking away the seriousness away from what's happening, especially what's happening down in Mississippi. Before we get out of here, because I know we're on time frame, but before we get out of here, and we made a commitment to the people in Mississippi to say that we was going to address the issue because it's a state of emergency down there when it comes to these danglings. You know, there's no information being gathered, and everything is being called an S, right? And that's what people say we don't do our history research. Well, real quick, we got Raynard Johnson, age 17. That was out of Kokomo, Mississippi, on June the 16th of 2000. They said it was an S, but the family still hasn't received the information, right? Nick Naylor, age 23, Porterville, Mississippi, January the 9th, 2003, a dangling with a dog chain. Said it was an S. Who would do that to themselves with a dog chain? Roy Ville, age 55, near Woodfield, Mississippi, on a pecan tree with a hood, dangling. Frederick Jermaine Carter, age 26, Greenwood, Mississippi, December the 3rd, 2010. Predominantly WT neighborhood, dangling. They labeled it an S. Otis Bird, age 54, Port Gibson, Claiborne County, March 19th, 2015. He was missing since March the 2nd, was discovered dangling for bed sheet. Philip Curl, age 22, Jackson, Mississippi, May 28th, 2017, found dangling. Ruled the S, with his hands tied behind his back. Willie Andrew Johnson Jr., age 21, Scott County, Mississippi, February the 8th, 2018, found dangling, pecan tree, right? They ruled it an S. DeAndre Montreal Hopkins, age 35, Columbus, Mississippi, May the 5th, 2019, dangling. Luxapelia Creek, that's where he was found. They said it wasn't an S, it wasn't an H, but what is it? Okay? DeMar Trey Reed, age 21, Delta State University, Cleveland, Mississippi, September the 15th, 2025. Freshman in college, found dangling near the campus pickleball court. Official ruling, another S. Tasia Fortune, here we go. Age 29, Jackson, Mississippi, August the 3rd, 2026. That is one of the most current cases. So for those who say we don't do a little bit of research, and I don't want to get into all the court case stats and what the media is projecting and things of that nature, but there's a pattern, and everything ain't an S. Everybody dangling, we ain't dangling S's. So when we talk about trust of the authority system, we need more of us to get in a trusting position and to uphold that line for the public that we are elected to be able to protect. Am I good to go?
Yeah.
Oh, so that was that was my anchor brief. You know what I'm saying? I was just making sure I get that in because I don't want to get off subject, but I want to make sure that I address the fact that we are researching and we do have some I would say historical sequences that are going on that are strange, but not and that's just only in Mississippi. It's been other instances where you had a young Hispanic kid, and if I'm not mistaken, it's in New York. No, it was in Washington, D.C. on April the 13th of 2026. He was found dangling, right? And that was in D.C. Then you got another case in Albany, New York in 2025. Man's found dangling. Got another case in Wisconsin. Torrance Metley, 39, 2025, found dangling. Got Georgia. Kyle Bassings, 21, February the 18th, 2026. Tania Nicole Miller, 27, June 18th, 2026, in Florida. She's from Flint, Michigan. Found dangling. So you can look beyond southern regions and other regions, but what I'm saying is it's happening all over the country. Now, if someone were to ask the question, why is it happening all over the country? These are young people. And then you got people all age, but these are primarily young people, 25 and under. That's the problem. That's a problem. That's a problem that needs to be addressed or at least looked at on a national spectrum and not silenced.
And they all just happen to be.
Yes. And all of them labeled an S by those who are in position to be able to protect and serve. So there we go. So there are a few questions, but where do we go from here, Shank?
We need the men. We need the men. Come on. We need the men. The women have stood on the front line for too long. Just imagine all of the dumb ish that we done back in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Imagine the penitentiary chances that we took. For many of us didn't been in the penitentiary, but just imagine. Imagine all the things in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and somewhat of the early 2000s that we were out here standing on business behind. I mean, come on. I challenge everybody. I put all of us to the test. I want to see just as how gangster you are. That's the business I stand on. Let's come over here and get in this fight, man. We owe it to our babies. We owe it to our community. We owe it to our women. The women tired. The women should not have to be out here fighting. So I challenge them all, including myself. I challenge the biggest to the smallest. What you gonna do?
Well, we
Talk
here.
to them.
We here for it. We here for it. Platform is open, man. People reach out to us. Y'all know how to get us. It's TSD, man. Chuck and Shank Show. Oh, it's Chuck and Shank Show? No. The TSD Show with Chuck and Shank, man. Every third Sunday. Now look, we might have to change the third Sundays, man. It all depends on what kind of feedback we get and how we moving. But right now, we're gonna do every third Sunday on both platforms. We developed this show. So people that are on my platform that were looking for the Unspoken Voices podcast is still operating under that, but it came under the form of the TSD show, and I greatly appreciate Shank for helping me join it. And let's get it happening.
I appreciate you cause you could have easily been like, nah, Shank, I ain't messing with that. You know what I mean? But you was willing to give it a chance. When I reached out, I said, Chuck, and you could have easily shut it down. Been like, nah, Shank, man, I ain't on that. So to see you, and like I said, I'm gonna keep messing with you. To see your growth. Just to see your growth. To see where you at now. You ready to go. Look, I'm out the way.
No,
You ready to go?
you ain't got
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
I'm out
bro.
the way. I'm out the
You
way. Look, I'm playing the back. You, you got the right shirt. You Ray Lewis. You got the right shirt. You Ray Lewis. I'll be Ed Reed. I'll be Ed Reed.
yeah, yeah. Let's get it there.
But on a serious note, fellas, I stand on business, man. And look, y'all ain't gonna hear nothing out of Shank Rock only when it's concerned with us getting into this community, man. Look, whatever you can bring, whatever angle you want to come in, that's on you. If you want to come from a Christian perspective, Muslim, Democrat, Republican, hey, handle your business. But as men, we got to stand 10 toes down. As men, we got to be on business behind our community. We look like punks, man. We look
Ain't no,
like chumps.
ain't no
Real
question,
spill now.
bro. Ain't no
We look
question.
we look like chumps to the world. The world looking at us as chumps. Come on, Chuck. Come on.
Hey, and look, man, look, before I get out of here, I know I gotta do one more. Oh, because we talked about community organizations that's doing things out there, right? You got any you know any name? Well, right now I know Brick by Brick, that's in Baltimore. They're
Okay.
doing advocacy and they're helping out things for the youth. So I'm gonna give a shout out to them. And if you got an organization out there that we need to give a shout out to, and
Okay.
even somebody that want to represent the organization, come on, then shoot us a line, shoot us an inbox. So on our next show coming up, we can highlight that and we'll talk about it as we still dive into some of the unknown social events that are happening out there. And last but not least, I gotta give another shout out to this young lady. I'm gonna say young lady. That's my sister. Her name is Travana Eads. Look her up. She's right now. She's doing her. I think I don't know too much about college, but she's getting ready to become a doctor, and she needs some participation in a program that she's doing herself for her thesis, if I'm not mistaken, her final thesis to get her doctorate degree. I put it on my page. It's on her page. Individuals that are in the mental health field, if you have time just to do a brief study with her, get in contact with her. She's on Facebook. You can find it through me or whatever. It's very important. This young lady has been striving. She's been doing a lot for herself and her daughter. Um, man, I can't say enough about my young sister. You know, she's doing a lot of things, especially in the mental health and in that area. She's come a long way. She's done it with no qualms, no questions, and she stood 10 toes down. Full ride scholarships, straight A student, and she's still a mother on top of that. So again, she's trying to finish up her doctorate degree. So if you're out there in the mental health facility and would like or could participate in the study, please reach out to her or myself.
Appreciate that. Salute. And I appreciate everybody for pulling up. And remember, everybody, every third Sunday, the TSD Show with Chuck and Shank. Every third Sundays, all right? Salute everybody, and I'll see everybody on the next demonstration. Y'all can hang around and congregate in the chat. Salute everybody.